Okay, so this is one of our BlueBurst sessions. And we're doing this on our value management workshops, which mainly includes the sessions and how to set up sessions in Studio on Bluebeam. I'm Ben Burns and I'm a technical consultant for A2K, Cloud A2K. So just a bit of a rough agenda for the next sort of 15 minutes. So we're going to do a quick intro about our company and ourselves, and then just a rough introduction to Bluebeam. We do have the other webinars and that you can access through our cloud YouTube channel. So we can get on that and we'll sort of show where that is at the end. So this one's about value management workshops. So we're going to do how to create a session, how you can invite people to the session, just some general features and how to do a notification, and how to sort of close a session, and then reporting on sessions and the stuff you get through it. And then we'll have a quick bit of Q&A at the end. So about us, Cloud A2K is a company which, we deliver software and hardware. We do consulting, training, development, and managed services. So we go into a lot of companies and get them up to speed and also help them, help them value add to their stuff, to get stuff done quicker and more productive. We've got a lot of staff. We've got, over 120 staff in Australia. And we do work in the AEC. I'm sort of based in the sort of architectural engineering construction space. We've got a lot of people who do infrastructure and MEP, mechanical stuff and the like, and civil. So we've got like a big, big capabilities that we can offer you and your companies. My name is Ben Burns. I work at A2K Technologies and A2K Cloud as a technical consultant in the AEC space. I've worked at Arup before, Northrop and SMEC. I've also worked at a lot of sort of tier ones, mainly in the sort of structural sort of building space. I have done some sort of civil bridges and the like. And I did work on sort of Metro Martin Place, like the towers there. So I've been using Bluebeam since 2016, Revit since like the earlier versions in 2010. Navisworks since about the same time, like using coordination software and the like. And the last couple of years, I've developed Dynamo scripts and the like. And I'm a certified Autodesk instructor. So Bluebeam Review, as we know, it sort of reduces costs and prevents a lot of the rework that we do get in the construction and particularly in the design and drafting stage. So you sort of get, everything will be documented, and it's sort of, we're heading towards like the paperless office. That's the whole idea of it. So everything's in there, all the metadata is contained in PDFs, and you get none of the, we made that at N20 bars or whatever, like it'll all be documented and you can tell who's changed what. So the power of the PDF, yes, it contains all metadata. You can hyperlink through the PDF. So if you have a drawing of, with 10 drawings, you can hyperlink so that the sections will all go take you to the same views. Yep, bookmarks, file attachments, you can put in photos, images, even 3D photos that you've taken on site. And scans, images, spaces, and 3D data. So it's one file enabling multiple workflows. You can do quantity takeoffs, review, collaborative. You can share documents with architects, MEP, and the like. You can document the drawings easily, and have many folders and PDFs, drawings, all that contained in the one PDF file. And it's great for field issues, people can, especially with the sessions that we're going to go through today, you can have access on Wi-Fi on a building site, and the builder can flag something, and straight away that can be sort of, the drawings can be fixed up on the fly. And now we're going to go into review. So this is just the normal Bluebeam interface that I've opened. Got nothing sort of set up in there as yet. So I'm going to set up a studio session now. So if I go down here to the studio, that'll open up that tab and give a sign in. So I'm going to set up a sign in now, because a lot of people don't get to this stage. And so if we go sign in, I'm going to start a new account So in other words, I do have a I've set up like a dummy sort of Yahoo email address here. So I'm going to use that address to set up my sign in, which I think, yeah, ends. I'll have to create that account, obviously. You do need to do a special character at the end. It'll take you to all the terms and registration license stuff. I just accept that. And then I should get the input. Yeah, so I've got the verification email here on my sort of dummy account. Then once I confirm my ID, and then now I should be able to just sign in through here. So it's actually quite easy to set up a an account, and that gets everyone the access straight into Bluebeam Studio. So there we go. We can set up an account. So you can see that it's quite easily to actually get it started. Everyone can get it started. And the best thing about this is it's free. So it's free for all versions and all years of Bluebeam Review and iPad Review. And it's a great feature. So, you know, when you start a studio session, you can invite anyone to it. And if they've got like the basic readers, they can still use all this session stuff. So it's great. So this little icon here that shows that we're connected. So if you sort of went off, like, you know, if you used a iPad tablet or something and you were on site, if you sort of lost Wi-Fi connection or something, that would break, or you can break that connection and work offline. You can still provide everything, and then when you get back online, it will sort of load it back up. That's sort of your green light to show that you're connected. So what I'm going to do now is sign out of that, because I was just using that as a dummy just to show how easy it is to get started in Bluebeam. Now I'm going to sign in like with my actual account. And going to hope that no one else sees my passwords. And I'll keep me signed in. So you've got that option there to keep you signed in. I think I forgot to do my special character at the end. And there we go. So I've got a couple of sessions already set up here. So I'm going to create a new session now, just to show how we can create one. So it's simply a matter of going there and going to new session. And here I can start that, okay, this is architectural's, I'll just call it factory, just so there's something here. And what I can do is just add files into that easily. So you can add multiple files and the like. So I'm just going to add like maybe 2 or 3 architecturals that I've got here. I'm just going to bring them in. This is where you can give options to other people that you want to come in, and that if everyone will have the option to save as, print, markup, etc. I can restrict attendees by email address. So that's always a good one to have on, because that way you don't have just random people coming in. You get to really set up who you want to be in those drawings. It's a good idea to as well use this session expires. So what that does is that sort of, you know, if you've got drawings that you want to be reviewed and out the door by sort of 25th or something, you can set a date and a time, and then the session will finish. As the session creator, you can always reopen that session and change the date, etc. So I'll just create that one. It takes a little time to add them in. And you can always add drawings in at later stages as well. So here we go. It's created my session. It's created a record here. So I've started a session, and this is our session invitation that automatically pops up. You can see over here it's uploading those documents into our session. So this is where we can add in invitees into the session. So we can, if we go here, we can add by email address. And sort of as I showed before, when you do get, I'll go back to my dummy email, but you do get an email when you do it that you've been invited to a session, studio session, and what session it is, what the name of it is, and what server it is, and then you just access that session through there. It's always a good idea to put a message in the sort of when you're sending it to people, sort of saying, you know, what the session is, whatever. So you can invite people. You can also create groups. So in through here, which it doesn't have available because you can go through the address book, but I'm not going to pull up my address book. So you can create a group of people. So you might have like the CAD team, drafting team in one, or you might have like a special project team that you can have all the addresses in there and sort of sort them out like that and put them in. So as you can see, you're limited to 500 attendees, which is probably more than you want. So that's just how you invite people to attend. Over here, you have the settings of that session. So this is where I can change the end expiry dates, and in here I can select certain attendees and allow them or deny them to do certain things. So, you know, if people are only wanting just to view the drawings, I can maybe take off their ability to mark up and add stuff, and then add documents. It's sort of, you know, it's always good to maybe have people add documents, but like as the creator, you probably want to keep the control over that. Otherwise, it can get a bit messy if no one's been doing that. So that's how we create a session. So now I'm just going to leave that session now. So I've left that session, and I'm going to open this sessions for value management, which we have set up for this workshop, this webinar, sorry. So this is your basic sort of dialogue that you get when you come up. So over here, you've got like your session ID settings, and this is where you can finish the session, and that'll sort of end it and sort of package it up. You can restart it, but you know, you sort of don't really only want to do that when you've sort of locked away all your drawings, or you know, you've reached a main sort of issue point, and then you'll sort of finish off the session for those drawings. You can invite more attendees. So this is your attendee access. And these are the attendees that we've invited into this one. And again, you can copy the invitation and invite more, and deny access and the like. This is also your invite, where you can copy invitation and again, invite more people in. And after that, so we have a list of the attendees in the project. I can see because they're bolded, so they're actually in the attendees now, in the project now. So we've got, as it's come up there, Shanok is the host. So he's the one who actually has created this session, and we're just attendees and been invited in and accepted those invitations. You can add files here. This is where you add the files in, and you can add from disk or whatever, add extra files in there. You can sort alphabetically, etc. It does have this record, which is sort of creates like a real sort of minutes of the meeting. And like this is why people are generally using this as a good, almost sort of minutes of a meeting. You can tell exactly like what's happened in what stage, you know, who's edited stuff, and it's all hyperlinked. So if I sort of went to that, it would take me straight to that comment and markup. So you can basically go through and sort of see see what someone's changed. Go through and you can even see like, yeah, people have left session, joined sessions, come back in. You do have chat down here as well. So I can probably like just send a quick message. Shan. That should alert in through there. So straight away I've now been alerted here through a notification to a markup that someone sent me. So you see that's where it's straight away like very good, and it's sort of live, like these comments have just come through now. So I've sort of been alerted to a couple of comments there, which I can then deal with the size. So it's real great. It's like a live document. We've currently got, like I said, us three in it, and you can sort of communicate with each other and really like highlight notifications and that. So it's a great way to work. So I can respond to those notifications now. So I can bring it up here and I can dismiss it or, remark it as unread. If I open up this is the markups at the bottom. So again, this is all hyperlinked and it will take me straight to those markups. So if I go onto this one, I'll bring here. And then I can go through all the markups. Go there. And I can respond to that straight away, the size of the beams here. So I can then also add, reply to that and say that. And that's done, and that's sort of been addressed and it's sort of gone through. So it's a great way to sort of have different engineers and or draftees and or builders on site, contractors, and sort of go through and address items like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my tool chest to create a markup. So I'm just going to create a markup. I will use delete that one, and I'll just add a markup with comment here. Yep, so I did a bit of a typo, which would be picked up, but that's that. So when we now expand this area, I can sort through and I can go, okay, who's sorted it by author, and there's my new comment in through here. So it's great for that. And you can use your record again. So if I went back to Studio on the left here, that brings up again all the comments and that are going, and you can see that we're all working in that at the same time. So, and again, you can have up to 500, apologies. You can have up to 500 people in that. That will, make it quite a mess. But yeah, you can actually drag through each comment, see it there. Now, one of the good things about it is it does have that sort of where we all don't trust each other. So I cannot amend his markup. So this is a markup that Shannock's put in there, issued for review. I can't do anything with it. What I can do is I can change the status of it. So I can change it through here to, yep, it's been checked, it's been peer reviewed, and we'll change the color of it so that we then know what status that is at. So that's where you could put in that, yes, it's approved. There are some other ones that it sort of comes with default, where you can sort of set in the accepted, rejected, or you can have up your own markup procedure. A lot of this stuff is all done in our other webinars as well. So if you go through some of the history on the Cloud A2K video series and webinars, you can pull up how to do markups, how to set up a tool chest, etc. So if I wanted to do a report of all these things, I can access here and I can provide a summary. So if I bring like a PDF summary of it all in, I can add it here, and I can change, like, I can filter and sort it so that I might want only my comments. So I'll create a report with just my comments on it. And I will make sure, and you can sort of turn columns on and off, what sort of stuff you want on in the columns. It's probably a good point to point out that you can't really add custom columns once you have started a Bluebeam session. So you need to sort of really get the columns that you need and have like your persona sort of set up with your columns, with your custom columns in there, and then create the session. If you did want to do it afterwards, you'd probably have to shut down, create a new session. So you can't add custom columns after you have enabled a session. So this has done a markup summary, and it's all the markups that I've done just on this project here. So, and I can also create another report, obviously, with sort of everyone's comments. So I can filter and sort. You can do it by subject. So if you had a lot of, say, structural comments, you could sort of like that, structural comments, architectural comments, MEP comments. You could sort it all out like that and get an output that you really wanted. So again, I'm going to sort here, and I've got all now in through there. You can save and load different configurations too, so that you can sort of customize a lot of this and have it so that it's sort of done for change, and that you really don't need to think about how you can have it all set up, that you've got an architectural configuration for report, different configurations. So when I process a report with all of them, it'll sort of get all the, let's minimize that. So it sort of brings in all the reports of each thing, different layers, spaces, and comments, and that as well. So it's quite in depth and quite good. See, it comes up with all the comments about how it's going to fit, what color paint. People can address it as well, so you can have the bit of the back and forth through there, and it's all in a report. So this one, like we see, the review, it's been accepted, back checked. So it's just a great way to work through there. So, and to leave a session, it's quite simple. So this exit door, so that's how we leave a session, through there. And that shut that session down. This is the report. So it's not actually sort of part of the session as such. It's a separate report that you've pulled out. So, and again, just to re-enter the session, just click back on it, it'll take you straight back in. So that's probably that's about it. To finish a session, we do have the finish here. Generally, the host can only finish the session. So when you do access it, you will get up let's take us to our PowerPoint. This is what happens here. So you get a mark what attendees should be included in the like say you include their markups in your finish the session. When you finish it, it'll sort of store that in a folder as a PDF, and you save it, and you've sort of got it there on record, which is great, you know, for anyone who wants to come back later and see who put the Rio in the mascot tower. And that's about it. So I'm going to open it up now for questions. I'll just have a little look through the Q&A that we have. So if anyone's got any questions, just send them through. There's the chat as well. Sort of keep people muted off, but that's pretty much it. So feel free to throw any questions at me for the next couple of minutes. Who did put the Rio in the mascot tower? Yeah, I won't touch that. We'll leave that for the court cases. So there's a great, if you go on as well through, I'll just show, so we've got I'll just go back to the PowerPoint. Yep, so we do have there, that's a quick scan that'll take you to access some of the toolkit and that you can get from there. So I think everyone, I've just got a question about the hyperlinks for the presentation and that. Just go to Cloud A2K, if you search for that, that'll bring up. And that'll also take you to our YouTube channel. So if you just put in sort of Cloud A2K YouTube, that should take you all straight there. So yes, and again, like just be aware that you can send any sessions to people without a license of review, so they can get the free viewer off the web and they can still access the session. No one has to be aware that no one actually has to have review activated. It will come. They'll get a link with it, and it'll probably, I don't know for sure, it will send them a link to install it, and then they can access that session. Yep. Okay, so I'll shut the session down now. So again, just feel free to hit up at Cloud A2K or me personally, and we can generally deal with any sort of issues you've got come up, or at least point you in the right direction. And the rest of the webinar series is available as well. So sort of go in and we can all learn more about it. So it's all good. Thanks for your time. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did.